Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. So we did a video previously going over this anti-dive composition that may become somewhat meta, it really sort of depends. And I remembered this game from the first week of the Overwatch League. It was one of the first games that was played. It was Florida Mayhem versus London Spitfire, and it was a really interesting match in particular because we saw three very different styles of play coming out, and I think these three styles of play is what we're going to see a lot of at the moment. You do have some interesting compositions as the solo healer, double sniper on Junkertown, quad tank and that stuff, but I think a lot of it iterates from the compositions that we're going to talk about today. The game that I really want to highlight in this sort of scenario is the Oasis match on University of Florida versus London. Florida are currently 1-0 with the Spitfires, meaning that they have a good opportunity to even go on and win this series against one of our favourite teams. But straight off the bat, you have two very different tank comps especially, but also two very different playstyles in itself. London are running the de facto dive composition, which is something that they're very good at. They have the synergy, they have the coordination, and they have the mechanical skill to pull it off. Most of you know how this plays, you don't need me to explain it because it's been so prevalent recently, and of course it's prefaced with a D.Va Winston tank combo. There is a reason why I'm talking about the tank specifically, but I'll get onto that in a second. However, on Mayhem you are not seeing the same thing. This is mostly to two reasons really. Florida's dive isn't very good, but even if it was good, it's not going to be better than London's. So they go for the anti-dive composition that we've seen more and more out of the Overwatch League, and really looks to be a problem for some teams that play a lot of dive and can't really play an awful lot else. Mayhem are playing the ever lovely Orisa Hog as their main tanks, and what surrounds them is a McCree and Junkrat who are very good at defending flanks from heroes like Genji and Tracer. There aren't that many chokes on this map either. You have the covered up hallway on Mayhem's left hand side, but also the high ground, which is very difficult to make use out of because it's not strictly as strong as the high ground on the city centre, but also the high ground on gardens. So really they can control the flanks, sit back quite a lot and make sure that they can take down London's dive bit by bit, and that's exactly what you're seeing on screen. You have a ton of CC with the halt, the hook, the flashbang and the traps. That means that you can really shut down a high mobility team and burn them down very quickly. You get the Riptire, you kill their Mercy, it's pretty much rinse and repeat. But we do see a lot of teams like Philadelphia, Valiant and London especially playing a really mean dive, but eventually teams are trying to work out how to beat this playstyle in particular, and it really does seem that this anti-dive team is actually going to be pretty good at it, and we have seen teams like Philadelphia drop maps against the likes of San Francisco Shock, because Shock have played this anti-dive composition that Mayhem are playing now, and this was on Dorado, it's not strictly just control. Philly do look a little bit better, they seem to be able to play it themselves, but not to the same extent as some of the teams that we have seen in the past. Houston especially play it really well. Jake is great on Junkrat, and really he isn't all that good on other things as much at least, so it kind of fits in their favour. But a lot of teams, when they try and play against the likes of Philly, Valiant, or especially London Spitfire, and try and out-dive these dive gods, they're just going to lose. So it's important that teams play these kind of anti-dive compositions and make it work, and that's exactly what Florida, one of the lowest rated teams, I suppose, in the league, is actually doing to almost take this map away from London. I say almost because I think London instantly realised that they're not going to be able to break through this, so they changed to our third and final composition that I really want to talk about, and that's a tank lineup. Triple tank, quad tank, but in this case it's going to be triple tank with a Junkrat as the DPS. Very similar vein, all about ultimates usage. You have the Graviton there, you have the Earth Shatter, but more importantly you have your own Riptide, which means that you can take out Zebasai on the Mercy if he's flying around trying to heal his team, and just take him out the fight so you can win a point. This may be because, again, London aren't comfortable playing this sort of bunker anti-dive composition to the same level that Florida can, so they try and do something that they haven't really played in a while but still made good use out of. Both of these lineups have very similar weaknesses and strengths. The strengths is it's very difficult to move them off a point, but their weakness is once they lose a point, it's very difficult for them to take back. So even with a triple tank lineup, it's still finding it very difficult to break down Mayhem's stalwart defense. But they eventually grab a Graviton. We do see Mayhem using a lot of ults to just stay in the fight, so once that Graviton does roll around, there isn't much that Mayhem can do. Spitfire take the point. And as I said, it's very difficult for this bunker comp to take the point back when you are going up against a triple tank like this. So we do see everything go full circle, and then Mayhem turning back to dive. We do see the ult usage of Spitfire being near on perfect with making sure that they have a good ult economy and have some really clean engagements, making sure that Mayhem don't have any at all. But then it just got into a situation where Bdosa was popping off at the end, Prophet killed an ult in Mercy, which was a bit of a bad play from Neversai, and Nuss had his own Valkyrie, so essentially this fight was just better suited for London right at the end, so it goes their way. The next match is Gardens, which we'll play in the background. It goes in a very similar way, but as I said in the last sort of bunker video that we went over, this bunker composition is working on much more open maps like City Centre, like Gardens, and in places like Dorado as well, where it's not quite as narrow as University, where you may see this kind of play. But I really do think that this meta, this composition is going to be a lot more prominent. We have seen the likes of triple and quad tank used a lot in the likes of Horizon and all of these other map types as well, just to out-sustain the enemy and just to put bodies on the payload or the point, for example. But I really wanted to do a quick video highlighting these three types of play, and it all kind of came into itself on that London versus Mayhem's lineup. The reason why this is really good that I wanted to quickly touch on as well, the reason why I mentioned the tanks in particular, is that all tanks were in play. Reinhardt and Zarya were with the triple tank, Roadhog Orisa with the bunker combo, and of course Winston Diva for the dive, meaning that there is a nice healthy use of tanks in the pro scene at least, all of them getting play. Reinhardt and Zarya not so much, they're kind of taking a back seat in comparison to the other four. It's just a shame that this isn't really particularly strong in ladder. Not many people play tanks as much as myself or Miska, but hopefully that will change once people see that there is an interesting way and more proactive way to play some of these heroes in a much more engaging lineup. But they're the three ways to play the game at the moment. I feel dive, because you know dive is dive. I think dive is always going to be involved in the game somehow. You have triple tank, which is very niche, still has use but can be shut down by like a decent Reaper or just a team that can kill the supports when necessary. But also you have this anti-dive bunker composition coming out quite a lot more, and I'm very excited to see more of it, as you can probably tell from the fact that I did a full video on it last. But that's everything that I wanted to go over. Let me know what you think of these compositions, whether you like or dislike triple tank, whether you like the sort of bunker Junkrat composition, or whether you like dive. What is your favourite out of those three? What would you like to see more of? Or make up your own meme strategies in the comments. I don't necessarily mind. You'll get a thumbs up from me. But thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time.